Oh. Hey, where am I going? Face busy.
My things are doing weird stuff today. They're just splitting right in the middle. Jill ready?
Yeah, I got 22%.
Right. Ron is not prepared.
Not prepared at all. But I was ready.
I think you're on mine.
On your what?
Because it says Ron Trouble is watching.
Oh, it says
No?
me.
Am I on yours? No, I'm on mine.
I guess.
All right. Anyways, ready?
Let me make sure. Yes, I was ready.
Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
I'm Angela.
And I'm Ron.
And we are
Chatter of Opinion. What are we talking about today?
Oh, today's a juicy one.
Juicy.
Yes, I feel like it could be controversial, especially if someone's experienced this already.
Okay. I've known a couple of people that have.
Okay.
Yes.
So our topic today is how long should you wait to start dating after your loved one dies, after they pass?
Okay.
How soon is too soon, right? And then lastly, does it matter what the family's opinion is, whether it's your family or the person who passes family, or your kids or whoever? Like, everyone's gonna have an opinion, right?
No matter
Do
what.
Do you take that into consideration?
Right. Not even with the whole passing thing. Your family, people. I'm not saying yours.
No, just in general.
Yeah, people's family is all up in the business nowadays. Yeah. But I think that's because everything is kind of put out there for everyone to see.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I think like the older crowd though is a little different though. And we didn't say age on here with the question. We just said when somebody passes, how long do you wait?
That's true. Does it depend on age?
I think so.
Like if they're younger, you're like, well, you don't want them to live the rest of their life alone. But yet if they're older, why should the older one have to live alone for the rest of their life, even if it's short?
Okay. I don't know.
Anyways, whenever we did our little, what do you call it? I always call it commercial.
Yeah, a trailer commercial, whichever.
Yeah, we got some laughs on that because Ron was like, shoot, I'm taking applications.
As a matter of fact, there is a video out there on TikTok where this dude was burying his wife. I think it was the preacher.
No. She was burying her husband, and the preacher approached her and proposed to her at the funeral. It wasn't the funeral. It was at the
wake.
Is that what's a wake?
Or the reception?
Yeah, no, like at the burial.
That's at the funeral.
I think it was at the burial that the pastor went and proposed to the widower.
Once they lowered that dude down, he was like, "Hey man, he ain't around no more. You told me."
On one knee. That's how this came up. I'm like, oh my God, we have to do that one.
Dude said, he ain't around no more. You told me to wait till he was gone. Hey.
And we actually already had this topic on our list because anytime we travel or have like a long something to do that we're kind of just waiting around, we'll always talk about different topics, right? Of what we can do on our podcast. And we had already kind of had that type of topic on the list, but then when I saw that TikTok, I was like, we gotta do it.
I don't know, and I'll say this from the start. I think when it comes to grieving, and we have that topic for another podcast as far as how people grieve and things of that nature.
Yes, we do.
But when it comes to grieving, you grieve in your own way. You know what I mean? However long it takes for you to move on personally, that's on you. However, people looking from the outside in.
They don't know.
No.
They're basing it on their own feelings or their own perception.
However, some people out there, there was some suspicions from the start, and then all of a
Totally.
sudden,
Like maybe they were already seeing someone.
yeah, the husband passes away or the wife
maybe
passes
they killed
away.
the significant other for some money, or there
I
could be
don't
all
know.
kinds of stuff. So a few issues that we thought may be the reason that people would have a problem with someone moving on.
Okay, so are we
faster.
talking about people, or are we talking about family members, or are we going to deal
Just
with the family
anyone in
members?
general?
Okay.
I think any feedback you get that's like
Some
negative
issues wise.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
So a few, and if you guys can think of any others, let us know.
Right.
But
So if you guys are just now joining, the topic is how long should you wait to date after your significant other passes?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Now, when you think about your significant other passing, normally you think about like old age or whatever. But
Hopefully.
nowadays, you know what I mean? You never know.
You
never
don't.
know. So we at the part right now where we're talking about the issues that people might have when it comes to you dating after your significant other passes. And we want you to chime in and let us know
Yeah.
if you've been through this situation where you knew somebody that
Right.
either moved on or didn't move on or so forth, and or people had an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why? So I can give one experience. My dental hygienist, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Gosh, she's been cleaning my teeth now for years. And she had mentioned about her husband passing probably when I first started going to her. Now, like 3 years later, after COVID, all of this, this last time when I went to go get my teeth cleaned, I was like, "Are you engaged?" Because she had an engagement ring. She goes,
Mhm.
"Yes," but she hadn't introduced them to the kids because at that time now her husband had died. It had been 5 years since he passed.
Okay.
5 years, okay? And her kids are older, but one of them is still living at home, but he's older. He's like in his 20s, going to college.
Okay.
Right? And she says that she's barely going to introduce them, but they've also only been seeing each other for 2 months.
And engaged already. Alrighty then.
So she said that the kids are kind of having a problem with it, and they haven't even met him yet.
They're having a problem. Well, that's a problem in itself,
in general,
though.
They're having a problem with her dating, and she's like, "My husband's been dead for 5 years.
I know,
like
but
I'm still young." And
but she's engaged, and the kids haven't even met this dude yet.
I agree
That's
with that.
foul
I
right
think
there.
I'm hoping that's really more of what the issue is that it happens so fast, not necessarily that they expect her to be single for the rest of her life.
I don't think it's because it happened fast. What I say, because 5 years, that's a pretty long time. What I'm saying is she's engaged.
After 2 months of dating.
After 2 months.
Yes.
And the kids, I know they had to be, what do you mean after 2 months? Only 2 months of dating and then she got engaged.
Yeah.
Hey, she doing her thing then. Do your thing.
All right. Crystal says forever. Meaning
Pat can't find nobody.
No.
Okay, Crystal,
you already married forever for the rest of your life. Natasha says it's a case-by-case situation.
Yep.
It's harder when young kids are involved, and that should be considered. Opinions of other family members besides the kids shouldn't matter. Crystal says, my neighbor's husband died, got a new boo within a year, and then he died too.
Damn.
Separate reasons.
Sure.
Damn, that would be kind of depressing.
Yeah, with what Natasha said, I could see that. You know what I mean? And the bad thing is the opinions of family members should matter. But if
they also can make it difficult.
That's what I'm saying. You would want the family members to
be supportive.
Right. Yeah. Because you want to still continue to do the things that you were doing prior to like the spouse passing away.
I think too, I would want my in-laws of my first marriage to also be supportive. Like if me and your son or daughter or whatever had a good relationship, and they passed away for whatever, whether it was an accident, whether it was a medical issue, like whatever it may be, whatever they passed, but we had a good relationship. I would hope that you would be supportive. Because while your son or daughter was alive, I treated them the way that you would want them to be treated. Just because they've passed doesn't mean that I'm a different person. So don't make me a bad guy just because I've fallen for someone else. Like I would want, okay, let me give you an example.
Okay.
And sometimes she does watch the video. So I'm going to use Hilda as an example, Dee Dee's mom.
Okay.
Dee Dee was married to
the redhead guy, right?
Yes, John Michael.
John
Damn.
Michael. Yeah,
I was
there you
waiting.
go.
You're so bad with names, but I thought you were going to say the name. She was married to John Michael, and they had such a great relationship. Well, unfortunately, Dee Dee passed, and he now is married and has kids. I believe he even had twins, and Hilda goes to visit him, and like they still talk, like because that is
right. Because I can understand that, yeah,
like,
because he took in her daughter,
right,
and he treated her the best that he could,
that right,
and so forth, and she unexpectedly passed. So the mom is thinking, what would she want? Yeah, right. She would want him to be happy with somebody
so
else.
Good while I was on this earth.
So she continues to be friends.
Deserves to be happy.
I would agree with that.
So, like I said, if there was no like hostility or anything like that, I would hope that my in-laws would be supportive of me as well.
Yeah.
Do you understand that?
I do. I understand that 100%. It just depends on the relationship between you and the in-laws to begin with.
Exactly.
Though. So, and that's what I'm saying. And you might have some people that, let's say that you have a child, you know, with me and so forth, and then I pass. I could see it going sour if you was trying to keep the child away from the family, yes, or you was, you know, you found a knucklehead and this knucklehead comes into the child's life and does this, that, and the other. I can understand that.
I agree.
So as far as the family's input into it, I think it's important because I think it's important for you to continue to do the exact same things that you were doing before. If you had a good relationship with your children and so forth, or the family, continue to do that. Now, should it be the defining, defining on what they say for you to make your decision? No. And are you going to keep or be friends with every single person that you come across? No, you probably won't do that either. You just have to pick and choose. Because some people are going to hate on you regardless of the fact.
I was going to say, and the thing is, you're never going to know what people are going to do until it's done.
Until it's done.
Right?
Yes.
All right. So, so some of the issues that we said, the first one was too soon.
Too soon.
People think it's too soon, but what is considered too soon?
Right.
That's really subjective.
Well, I have a friend, and she said her mom and her dad had COVID together.
Okay.
They were in the hospital fighting for their lives together. Okay. The mom passed, and then the father, he made it through. And then within 6 months of the mom passing, he found him a new girl.
It wasn't his nurse or something?
No, it wasn't a nurse. Just found a new girl, and then he was spending a lot of time with the new girl. So they was like, that is too soon. Mom hasn't even rolled over in the grave yet, and you already out there pitching woo at the clubs and stuff like that. So then they kind of said that was bad because it was too soon as far as everyone else was concerned. They were still grieving, and apparently he was moving on. You know what I mean? So they thought it was bad for him to get involved with somebody that early.
I know this is like silly because it's based on like movies, and movies aren't real, but I've seen movies where people, while they're alive, would say, I want you to be happy if I leave, or say someone's sick and dying. So then they have that hard conversation with their significant other saying, I want you to be happy, and I'm okay with you finding someone. I want you to love, blah, blah, blah. And then there's people like Crystal who's like, nah.
Yeah.
You're going in the coffin with me. If I die, you die.
Like, you shouldn't be seeing nobody. You know what? Per words and verbiage, I would, no matter if I was to pass away or we were to separate and you go, you find somebody else, I would wish that you would be happy with whoever that you decide to be with. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with just passing away. I just think no matter if you and I make it or we don't make it or this, that, and the other,
Mhm.
my thing is I should be grown enough to
Right.
say,
To respect
yeah,
that.
do what you got to do.
Yeah.
To
not wish ill
yeah,
on someone
it
just
wasn't
because
me.
it didn't work
Yeah,
out.
with me, you go ahead. If you find somebody that makes you happy, then
Yeah.
go ahead and do it. I wouldn't wish no ill will on you if you decided to move on, regardless of the fact.
Crystal says, I think men have a harder time being alone.
Okay.
Which is great point, Crystal, because I have some stats.
Bring up that stat, girl.
I'm just saying.
Mention that.
So thanks for hyping me up, babe. Okay, so widows and widowers initially feel an overwhelming sense of loss and loneliness, but eventually some decide to find love again. According to a study led by a UC San Diego psychiatrist, this is from marketwatch.com, 61% of men and only 19% of women who lost a spouse were either involved in a new relationship or remarried within 25 months. So around 2 years, they've already started a new relationship or are already married. Okay. Then it said men are significantly more likely to begin dating after being widowed, and they are more likely to do it sooner as well. And then the last one is the desire for remarriage may be most acute among men who were most dependent on their late spouse, meaning their wife probably took care of them, and so they're seeking someone more to take care of them.
Oh, I can see that.
Right? And that was from sites.bu.edu was that last one.
Okay.
So men tend to, at a higher rate, remarry again or find someone again and sooner.
I can see that because I think sometimes in a man's point of view, if he's been a family man, a married man, and this, that, and the other, then he is used to that lifestyle. He wants to continue that lifestyle.
And
he's
men and women were in that lifestyle, and they're like, I ain't taking care of no one else.
Nobody else. I did that for 20 years.
And I am not gonna do it again.
Gina says it doesn't matter to be necessarily a person's passing. My ex-mother-in-law still calls me her daughter-in-law to this day, and she said she loves me as she did when she met me, and she says she will always be there no matter what. I agree, but you had a good relationship with her when you were with her son. Yeah, so that's important.
I think it is. I'm still close with Zaylen's grandma on his dad's side.
Okay.
You know, she still reaches out. Even she's very supportive of me and Ron, and always like wishes us, you know, a happy anniversary and things like that. So her and I had a good relationship.
Okay.
I'll reach out to her for her birthday and things like that. We didn't have a bad relationship. So it continued.
So do you think sometimes, and I'll ask you the same thing, Gina, do you think sometimes when they have a good relationship and things end with their son or daughter or whatever, that they think that their side of it is the reason why it failed?
Like their son or daughter?
Yeah, like their side of it
I don't know.
Was the reason why.
Or they just, my son did what he did, or maybe he's the one who left and you, because
but that's what I'm saying.
If it was your fault and you hurt my baby, like
then
sometimes
they push you to the side. But if it was their fault and they realized,
that could be the reason
like,
why.
Hey, you should have never got with that person in the first place. So I'm still going to reach out to you. Because I feel kind of bad how it kind of panned out.
Right.
All right. So next issue we had is maybe too soon. The second one we go is disrespectful. What do you mean by that?
Plain and simple. People just think it's disrespectful.
Today,
again, opinions are like, y'all know the saying.
Yeah, but I think when it comes to disrespectful, I think people have in mind what they think that decent time frame should be for somebody to move on. I agree, but
that doesn't fall for everybody.
Yes. Okay, Gina says she knew it was not my fault.
See,
I tried and tried.
We knew it, girl. We knew it.
She herself said if you need to move on, I understand. And she did just that. Yes, like I said, sometimes when the in-laws still keep in contact with you, it's because they know
that you were a good one.
Yeah, their side of who they were invested
I
in
agree.
was not right.
I agree.
Yeah. So disrespectful. Yeah, they think people have in mind that, you know what?
By you moving on and by a certain time frame that they have in their heads,
yes,
they
and
just think it's disrespectful.
Right. You know that you should have waited at least a year or 2 years.
My thing is,
this, that, and the other.
My thing is, again, who calls the shot as to how long? So you're telling me if you came and said, well, I think you should have waited 2 years, and I waited 1 year and 11 months, is that, you know what I'm saying? Like, are you going to be mad about it?
You're
you know
around
what
the
I'm
ballpark.
saying?
You're around the ballpark.
I'm
but
just saying,
if somebody passes away and
like,
you have in your
puts
mind
a time frame on it?
A lot of people do.
I know.
Like for instance, has nothing to do with passing away or anything like that. But you have friends that they are all in love with their guy.
Yeah.
Right? I love this guy, or I love this girl, this, that, and the other. And then a couple of days down the line, they with a new person.
Yes.
You're just like, what?
You're like, really?
Yeah.
It just seems, I can get that because it seems it's ingenuine. Right?
Is
like
it
well, that's what I'm saying. That's what people think. Like, well, then you didn't really love that person.
Or are you just trying to hurry up and move on, though? You could still be in love.
Maybe that's the way they're trying to heal it, whether it's the wrong way or the right way. They're trying to heal themselves by filling that void. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong.
I agree.
But it's my life. Right?
I agree.
So, yeah.
I agree.
All right. The next one is expectations. It kind of goes along with it. Like,
what you mean?
Just like I said, people's expectations. So if you're telling me it's too soon, to you, what is?
Oh yeah, you're talking about
what is the date that you feel it's okay for me to start dating?
I agree. Like I said, if you listen to people, it's gonna vary.
It is.
You know what I mean? It's gonna vary. Like
and
1 year, 2 years, 5 years.
Some people could be so hurt about it that they're gonna say never. I think I'm sorry, but that was your person, and you don't deserve another person in this world.
I guess. I don't know. You can deal with other people's expectations and time frames, and you will lose what might be your potential soulmate because you're worried about other people's time frames or expectations. Would this be against the rules if you married your best friend that was a girl after your wife passes, or vice versa?
Wait, say that again? Oh, so you're saying when you were married, you had a best friend, but that was of the opposite sex. Then your significant other dies, and then you end up with that? Oh, people be talking. People be like, there was something going on.
No matter if it was your best friend or her best friend or his best friend, there's gonna be some talk. However, I think we had this discussion before about dating friends, and I wouldn't see nothing wrong with it.
And I'm like, a hell no.
No, because that might be your soulmate. You know what I mean?
One of my friends, my close friends, and you know who your close friends are, and they should know who their close friends are. If one of my girl's men passed away, or if my girl passed away, there is no way I am getting with their man. To me, it's more like a brother. Yes, like it's like, because she's like my sister, they're like a brother. Like no.
Okay. All right. What we got next?
So that's not your opinion?
What my opinion is, and I said this
never
before.
Say never.
Yeah, I say like.
Well, let me let you know. I will be hunting your butt.
If that was the case,
if you go with one of my friends.
If you passed away, God forbid, if you had passed away, then one of your friends was available, as I would say, and we just hit it off. You know what I mean? And you realize that we were good together, but one of your friends might be like my soulmate. Why not? You wouldn't want me to be happy with one of your friends? They're your friends because they're trustworthy. You like them for a certain reason. You wouldn't want me to be with somebody like that?
No.
You would want me to be with a skank.
Sure.
Whoa. All right.
Sure.
Okay. There it is.
Crystal says they just seem like they would move on faster for men.
Yeah, man. I think it just depends because men, and I'm pretty sure women too, just hate to grow old alone, especially if you were in like a marriage or a committed relationship. You know what I mean? You start looking at yourself and you're like, I don't want to be that person that dies alone. Because if that was the case, you would have just been like casually dating. You wouldn't have been
Crystal
in a serious
said
relationship.
Ron Tribble.
What?
I think she's talking about the friend thing. You know what? Yes. If I die and Ron tries to date one of my friends, you cause havoc. I'm telling you right now.
It would be better than dating Crystal.
I don't care.
Because some people would date the family member.
Don't date the sister or the friend. Just stay away.
You got some people that will date like the family member of the person. There's some off limits to it.
I'm telling you now, stay away. I will haunt your ass.
I'm just saying, if something were to happen, I just don't see nothing wrong. You done passed on, you wouldn't know.
I would know.
So you're gonna have to watch it from afar.
I'm gonna haunt you.
Okay.
Come back from the dead. I certainly will.
Crystal
said, "Same, sister."
What's that?
How I said, Crystal, take care of it. Basically, if I ain't here, if he's trying to hook up
I
with
just
one
don't
of my
see it. If you was to pass or your loved one was to pass and their friends were available and they were compatible and that was your soulmate,
there's a lot of other compatible people. Go find it somewhere else.
Okay. Life is too short. If you fall in love with somebody after your loved one passes, it's what it is. Can't read. What it is. Live life to be to the fullest and be happy. That's what I say. I agree.
Gina, normally, you know what? All these times, Gina, and I appreciate your support, girl, because you're on often with us, but not in this instance. Stay away.
I'm just saying.
Stay away.
I'm just saying that if they're your soulmate and you know that person is your soulmate, I don't see nothing wrong with you moving on.
So you didn't realize that they were your soulmate till after I left?
Correct, because my focus wasn't on your friends. You see what I'm saying? I agree,
Crystal. She says, there's billions of people in this earth. You got to date my friend.
She's close. I know about her. You done told me everything I need to know about her. You see what I'm saying? Thank you. You told your friend everything they need to know about me. If we come together and we have an understanding and we can still vibe with each other, we good. Right, we good. Why not? It's better than trying to figure out somebody else. When she tries to tell me something about her, I'll be like, I know that already.
Sounds lazy to me. Anyways, moving on.
Gina says, ouch. Go ahead. We have expectations.
Next one. We did expectations.
Right. So we had too soon, some issues that you might have when a loved one passes and you start to date again. People might say it's too soon. Some people might say it's disrespectful. Mm-hmm. Expectations will always get in the way. And then we have selfish, ever so popular.
I said selfish because Ron said, well, what about if they have kids and the kids are like, well, I've only seen you with just daddy or with just mommy. Okay, this ain't about you.
Yeah, but I can understand it because my mom and dad been married for 52 years.
Okay. And you wouldn't want your mom to be happy for the rest of her life because you've only seen her with your dad?
I've only seen her with him. I wouldn't even know how to take another man in his or her life.
This is how you take it. You know that your mom and your dad had a bond and they loved each other.
Correct.
To the end of the earth until their last breath.
So I know this person that comes in is not going to even come close to what he had.
But that doesn't mean your mom doesn't deserve or your dad doesn't deserve to live out the rest of their life not alone.
She can live with us. She can live with me. She don't need nobody.
Yeah.
I'm selfish. No, I don't know. But I think some people are when it comes to trying to move on especially when a loved one passes, a mom or dad, and then they start to see somebody else. That selfishness could kick in because now this person is coming in when everything is already established, this, that, and the other, and then they're not the same personality. They're not the same, person as who I'm used to seeing my mom or my dad with.
Right. So then my question is, would you prevent it from happening because of your...
I'm grown. But some of the younger crowd, some younger
people who interfere.
Well, I would interfere if the dude was or the woman was disrespectful.
Yes.
Not if they're not a good match,
trying to take advantage.
But that's not for me to.
No, if someone came in your mom's house and was taking advantage of her because she was just vulnerable,
then I would have a brief conversation with her. Mom. I would have a stern conversation with him, and then if she doesn't see it, then that's on her. Yeah, that's on her.
You can only do so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk to her and say, hey, this is what I see. I'm gonna talk to him and say, look, Negro, this is what I see, and if it continues to happen,
that's my mama. That's my mama.
And then she makes a decision from there. I have nothing to say to the situation after that. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Next one is competition.
Oh, yeah.
And you said with time.
With time.
So what does that mean? Like, okay, mom passed. I'm the kid. I really am trying to spend my time with you, especially people who felt like maybe remorse that they didn't spend time with the other parent before they passed. So now they really want to focus on the time with you. And then the new person comes in and they're taking the time from them.
Right. So, because when somebody passes or whatever, the family, hopefully your family kind of comes together and then you guys spend some time with each other. Mm-hmm. And then you particularly spend time with the person that is alone. Yeah. And then now some other person comes in and then now they don't really have too much time for you because they're spending time with somebody else. That could be
a problem.
A problem.
But again, that sounds like it's a you problem.
It might be.
It's a little selfish.
So
because you're worried about you, not the person who now is living without their loved one.
I can see that, but I can also see that person is like, I need you right now. You know what I mean? I need you to be with me, this, that, and the other. I don't want to be alone. I was with your dad or your mom for X amount of years, and then all of a sudden I'm there. Yeah. And then you just drop me because you found somebody else.
I hear you, but it could be on the other foot too, where the kid is mourning and they want you to be by their side, but then they, for whatever reason, get distracted and then, oh, they're good. And then now I am alone. They're good. They wanted all my attention. They got distracted, whether it's another person or they finally healed and was able to move on with life. And here I am still alone.
I get it. I get that.
You know?
Okay.
Okay, next one, gold diggers. A lot of people might think, especially
when I'm in need. No. No, we ain't doing that.
That was great.
Okay, but
so people might think, especially if they feel it's too soon, that person's trying to like
move in,
get stuff, right.
Especially
out of it.
Because you do have individuals that come into a situation that's not as established as the person that they are or accompanying. You know what I mean?
What was that movie? Falling from Grace? Falling from Grace?
I don't know.
It was that one where this lady met. It was with Felicia Rashad.
She's been in like 100 movies.
Where this lady started seeing this younger guy. He was a photographer, and her friend, who was Felicia Rashad, kind of like pushed her to start dating. And then she fell in love with this young guy. He was a photographer. He ends up like moving in. He ended up like stealing from her job. They fired her. He ended up taking out a mortgage and her house was paid off. Like, really did her in. And then she ended up, I can't remember if she killed him. I'll have to watch it again. If she killed him or if they made them think he killed her. And come to find out, it was Felicia Rashad's son. And this was like their whole scheme that they did with like women.
Yeah.
Where they tried to and then Felicia Rashad would like take care of people and then take their checks. and then lock them in their basement, but keep their checks.
Mm.
So they had this whole scheme going.
Yeah.
So that type of thing.
But the same thing is when people see an opportunity, you might not be on your feet, and then somebody has passed away and they have everything like retirement, they have this going on, and then you
paid house.
Yeah, you see the opportunity and you move in.
Yeah.
I can see some people taking advantage of that situation, especially when you can just jump into an already made situation
Setup.
versus trying to work to build things.
Right.
Yeah, I can see. I don't know if it's called gold digging, but along the same lines as jumping into an establishment when you
Taking
didn't have
advantage.
built that establishment.
Yeah. Okay, so does it matter what the family's opinion is? If you were, okay, let's do it on each side. If you were the person who was in it, your significant other died, and either our son or my significant other's kid or my significant other's sister or mom, anybody.
Like your sister.
Sure.
Okay. Crystal.
Sure. So if they were like, Ron, my sister just died a year ago, do you really think you're ready to start dating?
I would listen to what she had to say and the
Okay.
reasoning behind what she is saying.
Mm-hmm.
But if I've already crossed that line to move forward, then I'm ready. It doesn't matter what your sister has to say, because I have to live life for me, not for what your sister has to say. Because maybe, what if she says, and I'm just using Crystal, there's a whole bunch of people. What if she says, I should never date anyone?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I can only listen to what she has to say.
But in the end,
I have to make my decision on my own.
Yeah. I agree with you. I feel like it's no one else's business. And again, I agree with, if you feel like they're being taken advantage of, all you could do is talk to them, and that's it. Leave it in their hands.
Yeah.
Okay, so then if you're the family member who kind of imposes your opinions, is it really your right to do that? This is a grown person, right?
It's your right, because if you're the family member, you have some type of investment in feelings on both sides. I hear you,
but just because my sister or my dad or whatever is not, you know what I mean? Like, no longer in the picture because they passed away, doesn't mean, in my mind, I don't think that just because, say, my sister passes, that Patrick all of a sudden stopped loving her. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, okay. So who am I to just like impose my beliefs on you?
I don't know. But it's not imposing your beliefs. It's just okay. Like,
I'm expecting you to take on my beliefs, or otherwise, why would I feel the need to tell you? Why would I feel the need to be like, you know what? I'm not okay with this. Okay. And then what, Sharon?
But that's just your opinion. You know what I mean? It's not, I believe that you should be waiting
just because you have an opinion doesn't mean you have to share your opinion. I have a lot of opinions of people or circumstances. That doesn't mean that I have the right to impose it.
Right. I agree.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I agree. But sometimes people want to be heard. You know what I mean? Like, that was my sister. That was my mom. That was this, that, and the other. And I'm just speaking.
If someone came at me like that, I would be like, and I don't love them any less. They were the love of my life.
Correct.
But I also am the one left here on this earth. And I did happen to find somebody.
Correct.
And they do make me happy. But that doesn't mean that the love I had for that person is any less or doesn't count or anything.
But once again, I think it's a time frame.
Okay, what's that time frame?
To me, I don't know. To me, there is no time frame. If somebody passes away today and then you with somebody tomorrow, there was a reason. Either you were seeing them before or something happened. So if you're happy and you
okay, so what if it's 4 months later?
So be it.
you don't think there was something going on if it's 4 months later?
Well, I don't have an opinion on if there was something going on or not. There are situations I could meet somebody at the
Totally
at the
unexpectedly,
Skinnies
and there was just sparks.
yeah, because you talk about some people that have been engaged or they've known each other for 10, 12 years.
Mhm.
They get married and get a divorce within a month or
Totally.
two. And then you got some people that
I agree with that.
meet and it's been less than a month, they get
And they
engaged and they last
I
forever. You know what I
totally
mean?
agree with
So
that.
it just depends on the individual and how you want to move on and do your business. And me as a family member, I can only give my 2 cents on the feelings I have per the situation.
Correct.
I can't tell you what to do, and I will not tell you what
are
to do.
people who are like that.
There
And I
are.
just say stay in your lane. Yes, if you feel the need to share your opinion, but in the end, you got to stay in your lane. It's not your life.
Right, because you're going to start making people choose sides at that time.
And they're certainly not going to choose you.
Probably not. Or if they do choose you, it's going to be too late because they didn't already chose the other person. That didn't work out. Then they come back and you pretty much say, why did you even do it in the first place? So damned if you do, damned if you don't. But that's our podcast for today. We were talking about how long should you wait to date after a loved one or your partner passes away.
It's hard.
It's a hard decision
It
to make,
is.
but it's also hard on some people to be alone.
I agree. That's what,
So
yeah.
if it's not your business,
But even if someone did it because they don't want to be alone, that is not my business. That's your business.
that's
You're the
what I'm
one who
about to
has
say.
to live with that.
That's what I'm about to say. It's not your business on the reasoning why they decide to move on. You have 2 choices, whether you support them or you don't support them. But don't make their life miserable just because you disagree
With
with
right.
who
Totally
they decide
agree
or
with
how
that.
long they decide to take to move on from a different situation.
Yes, agreed.
Cool.
All right, that's all we have for today. A few things. I want to wish my nephew Kyron a happy birthday on Saturday.
Yep. Happy birthday,
He
Kai.
will be 16 years old. So
16?
happy birthday.
Yes, sir.
Also, not next week. We will be on next week. Will we be on next week?
Probably
Because we won't be on the week after.
Okay. So
We'll have to play it by ear, guys. We have a lot going on. We will do our best to, if you see a trailer, we will be on. If you don't see a trailer,
we won't.
by Wednesday, we will not be on. But the week after that, we will definitely not be on. We will maybe try to post live if we can.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But thank you guys for joining us. And we appreciate your support. For all you guys that chimed in, we really appreciate you guys. We wouldn't be
Yes,
on here
especially
without
those
you.
repeat people who always come back on Thursdays.
Yes.
We appreciate you. And we, of course, always look for YouTube. Please follow, share.
On YouTube Live.
For YouTube Live.
Under Chatter of Opinion.
Yes.
Yes.
And yeah, thanks for your support, guys.
All right. We shall
Have
holler
a
at
good
y'all. Have a good weekend.
Peace.
It's hot.